Dear friend, this is my new series on vision improvement, and this is the first exercise video. In episode 0 I explained the 3 elements of vision improvement, which are awareness, relaxation and repetition. And in this first video I'm going to talk about awareness. My vision improvement series is about curing or improving your nearsightedness. Now I'm going to talk about 6 different areas of awareness. The first thing that I want to mention is comorbidity. There are a lot of symptoms that other people that are nearsighted may have in common with you that I tend to associate with nearsightedness. Of course, the other awareness topics are this as well, but these are seemingly unrelated to your nearsightedness. Things that most nearsighted people have, especially in high myopia. The neck area is often very tense in people with myopia, and it may actually decrease the blood flow through your head. This obviously has a lot of influence, and it may even cause tooth decay. If you have bad teeth, I'm sorry, but it is actually related to the tension in your neck. Your shoulders can be very tense as well, and this may have an effect of having a poor posture. So if your shoulders are leaning forward, your chest is not, open and up. I prefer to think of it this way, like if you have a cord on your chest and you pull it, and then it forces your shoulders to relax and lean back. It makes you feel proud, and it will actually, you can do this by tensing some muscles in the middle of your back that you may not be used to using a lot. Now, not only your neck and shoulder muscles come into play, but also the muscles around your eyes, and I believe that tension headaches and migraines might be related to nearsightedness. Some people might get migraines just from fluctuations, but my experience is that it's usually a combination of things that are happening around you, stresses that you may have, chemical processes inside yourself, like hormonal changes or things like that, changes in the weather, or if you're traveling, maybe you're not drinking enough and stressed out, and it may cause tension headache or migraine. And I know these also occur in people that do not have nearsightedness, but I think a lot of people that are nearsighted also have these headaches, unfortunately. The second one is memory. Maybe you have the memory of good eyesight. If you got myopia somewhere when between 8 and 14 years old, is often a common age to become nearsighted, or even later in life, then you have some memory of what it was like to have good sight, and you may know that the experience is very different from what it is like to live life through glasses. For me, the experience is very different, not only in how I feel about what I'm seeing, how information comes through, but also in my experience of life in general. And the strange thing is that I used to ascribe all of these changes to becoming grown up and, you know, as an adult, people use their imagination less and they play less. It's more serious. So I was like, okay, these changes are all because I've grown up. But it turns out I'm wrong. I'm not enjoying certain things because I really tuned out of some of the capabilities by becoming nearsighted. And using my imagination and feeling things that I'm seeing is a really big part of it for me. Let me know what your experiences are. You know, I'd love to know. And the second part of memory is maybe you know why you became nearsighted. Since stress is the cause of nearsightedness, so it can be anger or sadness, anything that was bothering you, frustration that you didn't let out and that you didn't feel good about. And how did that impact you? A lot of things were going on in my own life, and because I couldn't deal with all those things at the same time, I kind of tuned out and pushed away my emotions. I locked them up and became nearsighted as a result. Actually, a strange thing happened because my best friend became just as nearsighted at the very same moment. And he was also dealing with a lot of difficult things in his life. Like he was not in a very good situation at home, and we had a lot of commonalities in the difficulties that we had at that time in our life. So think about it. Think back to when you became myopic. Did something happen earlier that year, or maybe a few years earlier? How did you deal with it? Did you deal with it at all? Or did you try and lock it up, put it away, not think about it anymore? It might be stuff that you want to become aware of. Now, these first points were just to understand your past and other things that have to do with it. But the points I'm going to mention now are things not just to notice right now, but tools that you can use to actually improve your vision. And we'll start with fluctuation. Fluctuation is something that happens naturally with everyone. Even my husband, who has very good eyesight, noticed fluctuation in his sight. You know, if he goes play tennis, his sight gets super sharp, even a lot better than what it is required to be if you read it Snellen chart. When I gave a workshop about vision improvement, I once asked, what is your experience? Did you already notice fluctuation? Or if you think about it now, do you know when your eyesight fluctuated? And actually most of them said yes. And the few that didn't came back to me later and were like, oh, I noticed this or I noticed that. And the differences are huge. And some of the examples were, you know, very funny. Someone told me that when doing the dishes in the kitchen and the TV is far away and she normally could not see it, but you know, she was just peeking around the corner and not really like prepared to be looking, and caught herself having perfect vision in that moment, and she was pretty flabbergasted by it. There was another experience of someone going to a busy fair, seeing pretty okay, and at the end of the day being stressed out, feeling really blind and unable to read signs that she could read before. And the third example that I absolutely loved was someone sitting in class not being able to read what was on the board, but he could actually see what time it was on the clock besides it, and the difference was really big because he just wanted the class to be over with. Strain eye strain and pain behind the eyes actually pretty common with nearsightedness. Maybe you've not been paying any attention to it and not feeling what you're doing. I usually only feel the tension in one eye, and that is my dominant eye for that moment. You usually use one eye for 90% to look with and the other with 10. So if you experience the room around you right now and you look around, you may notice that you're looking more with left or more with right. And these two, they take turns. And you obviously do have a dominant eye. You probably used one eye more often as your preferred eye than the other. It depends on what you do for a living maybe as well. But there's definitely tension that can be felt around the eye or a little bit more to the back, and it really, for me, it was something that I became more aware of as I was practicing vision improvement, just like with the fluctuations. It might also be fun to know with fluctuation that Dr. Bates had constated that Dr. Bates found out that people who are lying are usually a bit nearsighted because they're stressed out about it. He also found that animals in the zoo are usually very nearsighted because they're stressed out. And so for everyone, eyesight can fluctuate, and it could be that if you have a child that's nearsighted and doesn't have glasses for too long, that fluctuation is really from good eyesight to pretty bad eyesight, and he doesn't really know, he's not very aware of it. I actually know someone with a child who was fine with playing soccer but couldn't read anything at school. So the nearsightedness was pretty bad, but when he was out playing a game of soccer, it was totally fine. And to him that wasn't anything strange. But if you get glasses and you put them on the whole time, then you have to force your eyes to create the bad eyesight in order to look through the glasses. And that's why it's not doable to improve your vision with your glasses on the whole time. If you're very nearsighted, it is also a health danger to be very nearsighted, and you can expect small changes in your eyesight for the better if you do these exercises, but use your glasses to do pretty much anything. If you have to wear glasses constantly, you can improve a little bit, but I don't think it's possible to improve all the way while wearing glasses. At some point you'll have to take the leap and take them off, pretty much for good. Maybe if you wear them once a week you'll be fine, but not on a daily basis. Lack of attention is another big part of becoming aware of what you're doing. You can also call it mindfulness, it's the same thing. I thought I actually was paying attention really well because I am a programmer. I can get into the flow and work on programming for hours and forget about time and everything like that. But I'm really talking about a different type of awareness and concentration here. It's about giving your attention to what's around you. Now, if I'm on my bike, then usually I don't see who is around me. I don't notice all the traffic that there is. I'm not scanning for things that are moving or anything like that. And I noticed that my husband does, and that people often encounters other people like that, even though if I do wear glasses and I can see their faces, I will always miss out because I'm not really busy to be aware and be out and about. Yesterday I had actually visited the spa and I had a really nice day, but it was only after an hour or so that I noticed when sitting in a hot tub, that I could see my legs and hands, and I had like mentally arrived at my location. Usually my thoughts are so strong and so like 80% of my headspace is filled with things that I'm thinking about, and only 20% is being aware of my environment. And it's supposed to be the opposite. There was a computer game that had the text that was spoken appear in the bottom. You could, when you're walking, it's 3D and the text just came by as in part of the surrounding. And it really helped me with my eyesight. And I was like, wow, this is a really good way of putting these thoughts to the background instead of the foreground of the play. So I've been using this as a trick to be aware of my environment and have some text in the background. Those are my thoughts. These are in the background. And most of all, I'm here and now I'm being aware of what is happening. Now, in order to get there, you need to be relaxed. And especially if you want to stay there for a longer period of time. So this is why part 2 is going to be all about how to get to relaxation and stay there. It will also make you safer in traffic. Because at least you're able to be there in the moment and scan things that are happening around you. You can actually enjoy life a lot more. The last part is about blinking and escaping. You might be blinking too often or not enough, or not close your eyes completely while blinking. This is something my ophthalmologist noticed a long time ago. I was not blinking sufficiently and I was wearing lenses. He was like, oh, you don't close your eyes all the way. And things like that really become habits that are very deeply rooted. And what these habits are doing are actually helping you to maintain bad vision. It sounds kind of strange, but this is something that I really learned through being more aware. If I know that I blink too much still, and this blinking is keeping my eyesight bad. If I force myself to just blink when I really need to, like, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's just like breathing. If you stop breathing at one point, your body's gonna say breathe. And it's the same with blinking. You can just let it go and wait for this natural response to come. Also, when you're looking around, maybe you have specific habits that are stopping you from improving your eyesight. Like I said, glasses, and lenses or LASIK, whatever, they all keep you imprisoned and needing to have your eyesight really bad all the time, even though your eyes want to fluctuate. They want to be, they want to, like a magnet, go back to 0, so you can have 20/20 vision and fluctuate a bit up and there, but you're used to having myopia. You're used to fluctuating a lot more and having bigger differences than normal. So you want to be able to snap back. But if you wear glasses and you're stuck over here, then making it worse is on this side and not on that side, because then obviously you can't see what you're doing, which is very troubling. You can only become more nearsighted if you're doing near work, or if you're looking, very far. You'll notice that your eyes have gotten worse a little bit more. So the fluctuation area that you got moves up till the glasses that you have, because it becomes your new zero, and that's not a very good thing. This is also the reason that many people become more and more nearsighted as they're wearing glasses or lenses. I'll tell you more about these type of exercises that you can do to improve your vision through relaxation in next video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, leave any comments you have below. I'll try to reply to as many as possible, and I'll catch you later. So thank you for watching. Bye!